Hello, everybody. I'm Dave Robinson here, the father of Geologist Daniel Robinson. Thank you guys for joining me on this quick live. Wanted to come in tonight to talk about my son Daniel. As you guys know, it's been a while since I jumped on the live. Just wanted to continue my conversation about my son. He's been missing for almost going on 3 years now. It'd be June the 23rd to 2024. It'd be 3 years. He went missing on June 23rd, 2021. For those who don't know the story, Daniel, he's a geologist, graduated from the College of Charleston in Charleston, South Carolina. He graduated with honors. He decided to move away from South Carolina and start his journey in his life as an adult out in Arizona. Moved out to Phoenix, Arizona, landed his first job in life with a company called Matrix New World. Also, it's called Matrix Southwest Groundwater, where my son was hired on as a field geologist, also called a hydrogeologist. Very important job for the state of Arizona. His job entails him going out to various well sites all across the state to assess water, groundwater, to make sure those waters are producing enough water that will sustain a community. As we know, Arizona is a desert state, so it's very crucial to have groundwater to sustain for its residents. Again, you guys, Daniel, like I said, just being a scientist, he's a brilliant young man, very family oriented. He come from a loving home with a father and a mother. He have grandparents, of course, aunties and uncles. Daniel is a very friendly young man. You guys would know by just looking at some of the pictures you guys may have seen online. He gets along with a lot of people. He brings people together. That's what he does. Even bring our family together when we have sometimes we have some disagreements. Daniel was standing in that gap. So I want to talk a little bit about that tonight. I also want to talk about the missing person crisis that we have in this country. Not person. I want to keep correcting myself, you guys. Missing American crisis that we have in this country is something that need to be addressed and put more in the forefront than it is. You guys have been seeing over the course of 2 years fighting. Not just myself. We have others out there fighting as well for their missing loved ones every day. Like I said, as I'm speaking right now, some family is dealing with a missing loved one. Over 3,500 people go missing every day. 2,000 of those are children. And, we have to address that. So on the other side, you guys, I'll be talking about that. So thank you for joining in. I'll see you guys on the other side. When the lights and camera turn off, I will be here. When the interest and conversation fade, I will be here. When there's no one around, a father will do anything it takes to be there for his son, to protect his family. Without these special people behind me, I wouldn't have a search. Thank you again, you guys, for joining in on this live. I'm David Robinson, the father of geologist Daniel Robinson. Just wanted to join in. Well, hey, thank you guys again for joining in. For those who are on the West Coast, you guys, I know you guys may just be getting home from work. Those who are on the East Coast, it's getting late. So, again, I want to thank you guys. I just want to start off with this. I have been fighting for Daniel for over 2 years. I have people ask, "Hey, do you have any answers?" I hear that almost every day of my life. People inquiring about what information I may have now. People that I run into now on the streets. Wonder if there's, like I say, any type of new answers and more leads. I'm stuck at a point, you guys. Over the course of those 2 years, I can do only what a family can do to a certain point. Just that's the whole point I'm making when I say, "Hey, look, there's some information out there that can be available to families, but those things are restricted." When I say restricted, we're restricted as families need to know now answers and we can't get them. One of the restrictions are that we have to do a lot through law enforcement. And at this point, I can easily go out and try to find someone to do forensics, for instance, and say, "Hey, get some of the answers I'm looking for that I know is there." And at the same time, I will be damaging Dane's case for the chain of custody situations that goes on along with that, things like that. So you're heavily relying on law enforcement, and when law enforcement decides that they did enough, and they would tell the public, "We did all we can do. We did an amazing job," and then there's still things. What they're saying this while at the same time they're not a full forensics workup. There's still answers about apartment, things like that. That's things that linger that's right there in their face that could say, "Hey, we can get answers. We can create more leads to what really happened to this young man." But when they feel like they can pump themselves in the chest and pat themselves on the back and say, "I did all I can do. I did a great job. You guys see how many searches I did, this and that." You guys, if you compare what law enforcement have done based on what we have done in the grassroots, you can say they did very little. We did over 49 weeks of desert searches to cover over 35,000 acre lands. We recovered human remains when law enforcement did not. You guys, we saw the case. I saw the case of the Maricopa County of a stolen vehicle where law enforcement did not. You guys get what I'm saying? So, if anything have been done, is because we actually been looking. I give you guys an analogy all the time. If someone say, "Mr. Robinson, go in that cabinet," I'm going to use it again, you guys, over and over again for those who heard this before. You go in that cabinet, "Mr. Robinson, can you please go in this cabinet in the kitchen? The first cabinet to the right. You look in there, and can you give me a jar of a jar of grape jelly that's sitting in there, right?" And I say, "Okay, I would go look for it." I go in that cabinet, I open it up, and I look around with my eyes, and I see all these cans and bottles and things in there, and I do not see that grape jelly. And I shut it back, and I came back and say, "Hey, did you go look for it?" I did. Technically, I did. And I can pump myself on the back and say I did all this work. I got up out of my seat. I went to open up this cabinet, looked for it, and it wasn't there. No, you did not do the work. You did not reach in there. You did not move around. You did not look. You didn't look for these things. You actually just pump yourself on the back and say, "Yes, it's technically you can write in a report and say, I've done this, I've done that, I did all I can do." When there's so much more. Like I said, you guys, if I had the power, there's so much things I can do myself. And I do have those powers to do it, but it will also be damaging Daniel. So, again, that's what we're facing in this country when it comes to missing person crisis, missing American crisis, is the fact that sometimes with resources, it may be lack of resources, lack of training, or just lack of empathy, or maybe just don't care, apathy. And so, it could be a combination of different things with different departments. Some that do care, like I said, that do just don't have the budget or the resources to do so. But the fact is, you guys, that's a lot of things that can be done when it comes to missing American cases, and that's the reason why we have over 607,000 go missing every year. 400 of those 600,000 are often found out of deceased or alive. However, there's a remainder that have never been found, and there's also a number of unidentified bodies out there that do not have a home to go to. In the sense, when I'm saying not have a home to go to, because things go unreported and things like that. So people get lost. People get lost in the system. and things like that. So we're gonna have to do everything we can as humanistically possible to stop this crisis that we see here in the indigenous community as well. I have been unfortunate to, when I say unfortunate, guys, I mean it's always a sad story when you have to learn about the missing indigenous people, especially women and children. That people don't talk about, and there's on reservations, you guys, things that happen in this country that you just shake your head like, wow, why is this not big news? Why is this not going on? Why we don't hear about certain things? You don't know about these things until it hit home. I would never in a million years know about missing person cases. I would have never known that it was this many people go missing every year. I would have never known all the stuff that sometimes law enforcement have the resources or just don't care, or this they have tech companies to telecommunication companies that have these policies that's there that hampers the ability to find missing Americans. Right? I would have never known that unless I've been put in that position, a painful position for over 2 years, searching for Daniel. So I would have never known that, guys. And so what I'm saying is tonight, it was you guys that have been standing by my side from day one. Grassroots movement that showed me so much love out there, you guys. My daughter and I, when we first, she was out there with me at first, and for a stranger, for a person you guys didn't know, he was out there through thick and thin in the heat of the sun, 118 degrees out there in that desert from sun before the sun come up to nearly when the sun going down. We're out there trying to rescue Daniel for many, many weeks, covering acres and acres. Like I told you guys, 35,000 acres of land out there with people, Americans of all walks. I mean, have people from California, all across from South Carolina. I mean, just everywhere, you guys coming out there in that desert, traveling to help me. Not one time did law enforcement do so, you guys. Had to do it without law enforcement's help. But this grassroots movement has actually been out there and been doing the work. And actually, like I said, you guys, and I said a lot of times on my campaign trail I'm doing now, is that it's everybody from every walks of life. Nobody care what color you are, what your political ideologies are, your religion, or you name it. Those things were not possible. We used to call ourselves family out there. We still do. My extended family out there, I call anybody family who comes out. A stranger, like I say again, utilizing your own gas, money, your time, putting yourself at risk just to go look for another American scientist, you guys. And I really appreciate that. And I'd like to see that same energy that we have to continue on and just don't stop at Daniel Robinson case when there's so many more families out there that's missing. So I'm here tonight to talk about that. And also, like I said, just the whole crisis at large. I'm going to start off right here. Missing in America. You guys seen this before. According to the National Missing and Unidentified Persons NamUs database, which is funded by the U.S. Department of Justice, you guys, more than 600,000 people go missing annually. Approximately 4,400 identified bodies are recovered every year. And so, like I said, guys, this is a crisis. That's what we have to really look at it is, and that's exactly what it is. Every case of the missing is important. Every case of the missing is urgently important. Not one case is more important than the other. However, there are alarming statistics that are being ignored. Statistics for the United States, nearly 40% of the missing persons are persons of color. Yet Black Americans make up only 13% of the population. And that's what I'm saying, you guys, out of this whole 600,000 that goes, 600, 750,000 that go missing every year, 40% of that are people of color. These people of color are people like my son, Daniel, again, you guys, who went missing on June the 23rd of 2021 out there in the Sonoran Desert of Arizona. And like I always keep telling you guys, Daniel is America's son because it happened to many others. You guys seen the slide before. I'm hoping that these families are found, the ones I will show you next. But definitely, like I say, you guys, this is what happening every day. Like Mr. Milton Harris from Baltimore, you guys. Also, Denisha Goodner, also from Tennessee. Yeah, we have people that's missing. You guys know these names. I'm gonna go back again. You know these names. Please look out for that family, and also try to, like I said, all the things it takes a call, you guys. Sometimes it takes sharing a story, and that's all it takes. Is one person getting to the right person at the right time, and things happen. So that's what we need to really focus on doing. Like I told you guys before on these lives, just pick one. Just pick one. Pick a case, you guys, to share it on your social media. We share all kind of stuff. We share dog videos. We share people jumping off of doing crazy things, jumping off a mountaintop, or share something that's going to help a family. You guys, missing person, missing American that's out there somewhere, who have no voice, no voice outside you guys sharing, and many others. By far, the most common reasons for a person is a reason a person is reported missing is kidnapping, particularly of children under the age of 6. According to the Child Find of America, up to 2,300 children are reported missing every day. You guys, 2,300 children are missing every day in this country, and you guys don't think that's a crisis. We're talking about the COVID-19 as a crisis, and we was losing Americans like every day when it first came out. Now, guys, you guys remember that we was all stuck in that house, didn't want nobody to even cough in the air. We was shaking in our boots, and here we have got missing Americans long before COVID, and we're not calling it the crisis that it is. We need to address that. There's children like go keep going, you guys. Children like Duke Flores, you guys see me put him up before. Danny Couch is as well. You guys, and also you guys, like I said, if you see these names, I'm gonna go back again. You see these names, you see these faces, these beautiful faces. Please say something. Share the story, you guys. Go find a loved one story. It's all over social media, you guys. You can find someone who have a missing loved one. It's easy to share their story. Also, you guys, please help me share these missing people's stories. Also, let's keep awareness alive about these statistics. We cannot allow this crisis, what it is, to go unheard, you guys. And I'm really passionate, really needing to do that. If Daniel is found today, I promise you guys, he will be right here on the side of me doing the same thing. That's the kind of person he is. He's an activist. One thing you guys have probably seen before in the media, I was shocked. When I saw this, I didn't know at the time. I just knew that when he was doing it, he was on the phone call with me. He was doing the protest they had in Arizona. He was out there protesting and believing what he believed in against police brutality. Right. I told him that night. I said, "Son, I wish I could hear the people in the background of the phone." I said, "Man, he know I am. We would be doing that together. I wish I was out there in Arizona with you now doing it." But he kept the phone on it so I can be a part to hear while they're protesting. But little did I know, when I came to Arizona, the local news channels, once I was getting Daniel's story out there, came to me and said, "Yeah, we have an interview with Daniel." And they showed it to me. You guys seen the pictures, a few, where he's standing up for what's right, right? So at the same time, like I said, he's the kind of person that would be doing exactly what I'm doing, and he would have been right here next to me. So in the spirit of Daniel, that's what I'm pushing, you guys. I'm gonna keep continuing to push, to go forward, for fighting for missing loved ones. And the one way I'm doing that, you guys, is sharing these flyers. You guys, the flyer distribution has not stopped. I have seen the slowdown of people asking. I get it. I decided to run for office. I decided to run for Congress. And I haven't been on here a lot because I've been getting really busy trying to get things set up for that, and I still am doing that, you guys. But I have still been in the background fighting. I still have a meeting that's coming up in the first part of next month with law enforcement on Daniel's case to get to push them to do these forensics I've been preaching about for over 2 years. Um, and you guys, but the flyer distribution is still important, very important to Daniel's case. It's very important to get that story out there. It's very, because that person, just like I'm telling you guys, I run to people every day too. Haven't even heard of Daniel's story. I pass out two things when I'm out there. I pass out a flyer and I pass out my card. I do both. And when I pass out the flyers, some people didn't even hear of Daniel's story, yet he's from South Carolina. I've been in Arizona. I can be right in Buckeye. I could be in Phoenix, and I can pass out a flyer, and a person didn't hear a Daniel's story. But then I can go to a grocery store, and I just mentioned his name, and oh my gosh, I heard his story. It could be in some other state. So I'm saying it's very important that, because the United States is huge, we don't sometimes don't look at the capacity, or really sometimes we look at it from our own vantage point of being around our own, city, state, and things like that. But it's really, really huge, and it take a lot of volume of flyers to get out different places. Why should the flyers be out in different places, Mr. Robinson? Because that flyer will reach that person or persons that may know something. They just happen to move to Little Wissy, Georgia, like I like to say, or Catskill, New York, or something, and they live in some small town somewhere, and if they see that flyer, it would jot their memory about something. If Dane somehow escaped, like some people would suggest that he has some kind of memory lapse and he's out there in the street somewhere, somebody see that flyer, see his face, you know your dad been looking for you for over 2 years. You get what I'm saying, you guys? It's a lot of reasons why. It also helped resources, guys. I could not have been doing any of those searches the way I have been doing. I'm gonna be out there. I'm just a father, go fight, but I would not have the capacity to get all the equipment I had out there, provide those equipment for my investigators, and also do everything, get the billboards, you name it, all the thousands of flyers have gone across country. I couldn't have done it without funding. Nothing can be done without funding. So you guys have helped me from that vantage point, kept my boots on the ground in Arizona. So again, those distribution is very important. So you guys can continue to please request these flyers. And the way you do it, go to please help find Daniel at yahoo.com, request the flyers, and you can go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. You guys, I have a link there also on the page. Let me see if I can share that with you guys for those who may not be familiar with the website. You can go up to the website and go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. I'm going to put it real big on the screen so you guys can see that. Pleasehelpfinddaniel.com is where you should go, you guys. First of all, sign the petition. I'm going to always keep preaching that you guys sign the petition, because every time you guys sign a petition, when I go to these places, talk to these officials, you're standing with me. It's your voice that say, hey, look, I'm standing behind Mr. Robinson. I'm part of this grassroots movement, and we want to have answers to what happened to geologist Daniel Robinson. So again, you guys, please put your voice in the petition. You have multiple email addresses. You can do it multiple times. You may have to, verify your email address. Do so, you guys. Also, you guys know this is a donation button. Like I said again, you guys have been helping me tremendously. I'm really happy about that. We had events. You guys haven't done events in a long time. The Day of Remembrance. You guys probably remember that. The candlelight visuals in Arizona that were helping other families, other cases, bring their cases to the light. I'll still continue to do that, you guys. To want to do that. Hopefully in the summer we can do more of that to bring some light to other missing persons cases. Flyer distribution. This is what I'm talking about right here, guys. PDF for those who want to print the flyers out. It helps. It's a form of donation, guy. It's definitely a form of donation because you're taking your own ink, your time, your money to actually print these out. But it helps with resources, guys, for those who want to do it that way. Again, you also, like I said, again, you can request those flyers. Please help find Daniel at yahoo.com. That's please help find Daniel yahoo.com. You still can request those, and that will help me as well. I have plenty of flyers. If I can bring one of those, I can say this again. Rich in here, you guys. These flyers, you guys, it's right here. Oh no, this is what you'll get in the mail right here. You get these in the mail. These flyers here, I have a lot of them. You guys can request them. They may come in different packages. They may not. But you request those flyers. We need those flyers out there. Again, you guys need those flyers out there. So please request those, or you can print them as well. But I'm saying the volunteer in other ways tab, you guys, that is for those who want to help in my efforts to find Dan. You have skill sets that you have that may be relative to finding just missing persons, not just Daniel, but other missing persons as well. Those things, like I said, is very crucial to my search for Daniel. Also, you guys, volunteer on the ways tab. You can get down here on the search tab. I'll make sure I get the right one here, guys. The search tab here, you can volunteer to search. I'm going to try to make sure I put this on the front side of the website, because this is what you would go to when you're searching. But like I said, if you guys want to find out where you can also request those flyers, you can do so. When I had a searches guide, this is preparing you for the search. I have these videos here to teach you how we do online searches, etc. Best tips for what you should wear out there in the desert. You don't want to get foot injuries, heat injuries, and things. But you keep coming down here, guys. Flyer distribution. Another place where you can find where you can request these flyers. I'm gonna put this at the front of the page, you guys. So you look for this form. But you can also fill out this form. Put in your email address, put in your physical address where you can send those flyers out to you, and tell us where you heard about this, you guys. So again, another way you can request those flyers. All else fails, please help find Daniel at yahoo.com, and you can get the flyers there. So it's multiple ways of doing so. All right, back to the website, you guys. Front page again. You come down, and this was what I was talking about too as well. is the mail-in protest that is still going on. Like I say, you guys haven't seen me do a whole bunch of lives lately, and that's like I said because I've been trying to get my campaign going. I'm still working on that. But I really, really, truly need these picket signs mailed into these, and it helped me. Like I told you guys, I'm going up to talk to officials at the first part of next month, and it'll be helpful for these picket signs to go in there as well. 'Cause I told Maricopa County, hey, I've been trying to get this meeting. It's supposed to be in for this month. They push. I'm getting this chance here, you guys, because I told them, look, there's no threat on things like that. It's just what I need for my son, and I'm telling you, look, I'm not worried. Okay, if you guys not really wanting to take me seriously, well, we just have to protest. We have to do a physical protest in front. We're gonna do a sit-in in the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. And these picket signs would go with us. I would have those printed out, built for you guys to carry. And we'll just have to be out there to get the justice for Daniel that he deserves. Like I say again, you guys, for those who are here at the first part, you can pat yourself on the back and say you did a great job. If you did a few searches, so you show the FBI, for instance, that you did a few searches and you swabbed a steel wheel and a shifter, and you say, I did enough, right? We know that would not be a goal for if there's a law enforcement official or one of their children, one of law enforcement's children out there missing. That would be a no go. We need a full workup of this vehicle the way it's properly, the way it should be done. That's a lot of information there. We need to work up on the clothing that was found on the scene, the red transfer paint. You guys, all the airbags in that vehicle deployed, suggesting someone's on the passenger side as well. And we need those things done. We need those information about Dane's apartment done. So law enforcement cannot pull the wool over the public's eye. They can do it over some of these church officials out in Arizona. They can pull it over the FBI. Akil, I guess his name is, out there ahead of the FBI in Arizona. But they cannot pull the wool over Americans here when we see 600, 700, 300 to 600,000, or 600,000 to 750,000 Americans go missing every year. And this is the reason why we're not finding them for things like that. So we will be right here, you guys, fighting for Americans. And the way to start is right here, you guys. We're gonna be going here, getting these picket signs out there in these apartments. All you have to do is, guys, this is the way they look. This is the way they look here. Oh, you guys come on, pleasehelpfinddan.com. There's 5 of these. You print them out. Again, it's a form of donation because you're utilizing your own funds to print these out. And I really appreciate you guys for those donation printing, because I know it costs money. I know how much it costs to print these flyers out. So I can imagine, so thank you guys for those who would do that. Print these PDFs out. Like I said, you can pick all 5 of these. You pick one. Of course, they come up. You got the tab to go ahead and print those out. So again, you guys, um, uh, that's one of the ways there, you guys, is to print these out and mail them out to the Buckeye Police Department here, you guys. That's Chief Robert Sanders. That's the address there. You also got Sheriff Russ Skinner of the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. Mail them there as well. We're not going to let law enforcement forget that Daniel Robinson is missing. We're not going to allow them to say they did all they can do when they have not. We're not going to allow them to call it a cold case when there's so much leads to follow. Leads to follow is things where you find you don't when you go find. I'm telling you something I learned when I was looking for Daniel. I had many leads, guys. I had to go to Sedona. I even had Buckeye Police tell me our own story. Me and my investigators' own story. We went to Flagstaff. We told them about it, and they told us our own stories that they did it. And so what I'm saying, those leads don't just come up out of nowhere. You have to go look for the leads, right? You have to put the information out there. I was able to put information out there to the public. Public heard those information and they say, "Hey, I think I've seen your son here. Hey, I still think I've seen him here." Those are leads, right? And law enforcement will not have leads if you're not looking for them. They say, "Hey, we have no more leads to follow." You're not looking for leads. You're looking for a way out. You're looking for a way to say to the church officials, they know who they are in Arizona, to say, "Oh, they did a good job because I saw them write something on a piece of paper," right? Don't ever believe anything, you guys, just because you see it written on a piece of paper. You should read it and should go fact check it and make sure it is real. You have to hear both sides. There's always 3 sides to a story, and you have to make sure you hear. When I say 3 sides, it's your side, the other person's side, and then there's the truth. You guys, so That's why I say it's three sides to a story. But you put those two together and you come with those truths. But anyway, moving on, you guys. Like I said before, it's very crucial that we continue to fight, not just for my son's case, but we fight for all missing Americans in this country. And the way to do so is to share, for you guys to share a loved one's story, and also, like I said, do whatever you can, you guys, to help that family in their time of need. So I want to go to chats really quick, and I just want to say thank you everybody again for joining in. Excuse me, joining in on this live so late in the hour. Thank you, Mary, for being here. I truly appreciate you. Dial up, thank you so much. Good evening to you as well. Single Silent Angel, thank you. Good evening to you. Thank you for your prayers. I truly appreciate you. Gladys, thank you. Good evening to you as well. And thank you for the prayers. The prayers of the righteous avail of much. And I really appreciate all of you guys for your prayers. Thank you too, Mary, for your prayers. Lola, thank you for being here this evening. Good evening to you. Thank you so much. God bless you. LaDonna, thank you so much. Thank you for your prayers. And also, you guys, if anybody had any questions as well, I'd love to answer some of the questions real quick. I've been here for 30 minutes. I can give 30 more minutes, you guys. And I would love to answer any questions you guys have. You have those questions, you guys. I feel those who are in the chats in the Instagram, I know you guys would like to be able to ask some of these questions. I think some of these questions may not show up on my chat side, but those who are on Facebook, YouTube, and I believe Twitter, excuse me, you guys have any questions? Put the capital letter Q before your question, a question mark, a big question mark, or something before your question, or the word question itself before your question. So when I come down to comment section, I can actually identify which is questions and which are not. I definitely would like to do that. So excuse me, guys, I'm losing my voice somewhat. Um, but I would like to do that. Anna, thank you again for being here. Thank you for the heart. Thank you so much, Stacy, uh, Cecilia. Thanks so much for being here as well. Thank you for the love. Ken, thank you for being here. Thank you, Ocean. Ocean, thanks so much for being here. God bless you. Just joining any updates on Daniel. I'm still working on, like I said, you guys, those updates are coming because I'm not going to stop fighting for my son. You guys probably already got that already. Over the 2 years, you have known I'm a fighter and I'm not going to fight. When the time came, and I'm going to say this again, you guys, you probably hear this on the campaign trail as well because it's true. When the call came, I had a thriving trucking business. And when the time came, when this country got attacked in 9/11, the heat of the battle, I remember when I went to my recruiter here in Columbia, South Carolina, and I'm a truck driver. I gave up my trucking business to join the military, and when I did so, the recruiter said, "You don't want to drive trucks," and that's when the Iraq was all in Iraq during the time. You guys, you don't want to join the military. I'm like, yes, I do. I mean, he didn't tell me not to join. What he said was, you don't want to be a truck driver in the military. And I told him I do. And he told me, well, they're dropping off like flies, right? They just look for bodies right now. Meaning, when they say look for bodies, um, American soldiers was dying at a fast rate, and they had to replace people. And I said, yes, I'm even with despite of that, I decided to be a truck driver anyway, guys, to go in those convoys and fight for our freedoms here in this country because I really believe in that. So I left my family to do that. I had a young child, 2 years old. I left to do that. You guys, what I'm saying is when the call came, so I'm a fighter, and I really believe in when I believe in something, I'm gonna go after it. And I'm not gonna go through the whole story, you guys, but I can tell you, I learned a lot while I was there. I lost a lot. I had to deal with a lot. Still currently dealing with a lot. But then my son have went missing. I'm a father. I was a single parent. Father. Love my children. And of course, I grew up without a father. I grew out of a father. I remember holding my first son, holding him up. You guys probably saw the movie Roots. I watched Roots back in the day, and one of the part that they did from our ancestors would hold a baby up to the moon, and I did that to my son to promise him in this generation, coming from me, my seed, my son, my children will. I didn't know who was gonna come after him at the time, but he would always have his father in his life. And I promised myself that. I promised him that. And when, so like I said, I had to fight for that as well to make sure that I'm present in my children's life. Also, you guys, once they became adults, my son, as you guys know, went missing. Devastating time for our family. Right at the height of when I'm finally trying to get to a point where I had a comfortable place in my home where I can take my mind away sometimes. Because I'm telling you guys, war is not easy. There's battles that you have to face. You have to fight and face all the time. Things you just don't get over. Those things, what you do is you learn how to adjust in life with those things, right? And so, well, like I'm saying, you get to a comfortable point, and then next thing you know, your mind's leaving that desert of Afghanistan, and now I'm in the desert of Arizona, fighting for my son. Especially you guys with some of the history that I have, that would let me know the language of law enforcement at the time. When law enforcement say, "Well, he's a grown man, he can leave if he want to," right? Also, when I talked to law enforcement and I realized they didn't really look for him, what they did is put him on a database, saying, "Oh, he's out there. He just want to be with," just misjudged. Sometimes people get judged based on who you are, what they think about family. But I can tell you, my children have both family. They have their mother and their father. We, of course, we're divorced, but they have both. And so the thing is, you guys, what I'm saying is, when he went missing, I had to fight. I had to fight. It was a battle. I thought I was working with law enforcement, thought we was gonna be side by side, but I had to fight. You guys had to keep going. I had to stand up for my son, and I'm still currently standing up for my son. I would not bend down for anybody. I'm gonna stand up for my son. I'm gonna say what's right, regardless of people's feelings. I told you guys before, I don't care about law enforcement's feelings. I care about them doing their job. Could you imagine we out there in Afghanistan and we're so complacent, we're worrying about each other's feelings, we'd have got killed. In the military, a person would tell you you cannot be complacent when you're dealing with war. When you're doing your job for a country, you're doing your job for the community. You do not be complacent. You got to be sharp at all times, right? And that's why I said, you guys, I had make Daniel my search for my son a mission for me, to keep me focused. Of course, I'm emotionally hurt and broken, but I couldn't let the emotions take over where I'm ineffective for my son. And so of course, you guys are saying to fight, to keep continuing to fight for Daniel. That's just what I have to do and what I have to do. But in that process, you guys learning about all these missing people, learning hearing families when I'm out there in the desert desperately looking for Daniel. I see these human remains on the ground and somebody's loved one just finding out their loved one is out there in that desert while we're out there searching for Daniel. Also, the fact that the ones like I said that was out there talking with me, and they had loved ones missing for over 20 years, and nobody heard of their stories. I mean, it's hurtful, you guys. That's what happened every day in this country, and nobody's saying anything. We go more on our married life. I could have been going on my married life, and I told people this all the time. If I would have, if what I tried to do when I first came to Arizona happened the way I thought it was going to happen, I'm sure you guys wouldn't see me right now. I'm sure you guys wouldn't hear of Daniel Robinson. Unless he go out and do the entrepreneur stuff that he planned to do, and I hope he get to do that. Um, you know, um, you wouldn't hear none of this. And the reason why I say that, you guys, and it may sound kind of funny when I say that, is because when I came, my ideal, I'll be honest with you, I traveled that 2,000 miles driving to Arizona. I was going to find my son that day. If not that day, the next day. I was pick the sister up. That's the first in my mind, we was going to find Daniel. Here it is over 2 years later, and I have not. You know how hurtful that is. But well, like I'm saying, you have to keep going. Other part is, you guys, just like I said again, I'm gonna keep stressing that, missing families, you cannot ignore the fact what's happening, especially when those families who listen to me, the pain that you're going through. And you just walk away, because your loved one missing, and you just focusing on just on yourself. No, I just couldn't do it. I'm just not that kind of person. I feel like I have to stand up and do something about it when I see things wrong. When I'm sitting in these meetings with these senators and government officials and law for the Justice Department, I sat down with the Justice Department. I'm sitting there with the Attorney General's office, and they telling me basically they don't do nothing. Everything I ask them what they do, except for financial crimes, or what they said to me. What agent? I'm saying we had to go through that, and you get yelled at, by a FBI agent, and who put you inside a We're not gonna let you in the building, leave you in the guard shack and with his armed guards with him, like you're gonna do something and yell at you. You have to deal with a lot. You have to deal with a lot of that. And I didn't let none of that stop me. You get what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, you guys, when you have all that going on and you see other families, you realize that other families go through that too. You just don't know about it. You got to fight and got to stand up and say something. I'm just that kind of person, like John Lewis would say. I might not say the exact quote, but he say, if you see something wrong, you got to do something. You got to do something about it. You can't just stand there and say nothing. You got to do something about it, for lack of words, with exactly how you quote that. But the point is I'm making, you got to do something about it. You can't just stand still and don't do anything. So again, thank you, Ken Thomas, for being here as well. I really appreciate you. Also, thank you, Agatha. Thank you. I'm still waiting for them to do the forensics. Yes, I am. I have that meeting again, you guys. They agreed to, Sheriff Skinner agreed to a meeting, first part of next month, and also Chief Sanders agreed to speak with me, and I'm waiting till them keep their word. They don't keep their word, then we have other issues, guys. And I'm the kind of father that would fight that as well. All right, I just don't walk away. Sorry for arriving late. Hello to you. Thank you, Jen, for being here. Oh, thank you so much for the super chat dial up. I really appreciate that. That's very wonderful of you. I truly appreciate. I really appreciate you guys when you do that. That's very much. It helps my morale, and it is very much supportive to everything I'm doing. You guys, like I told you before, dial up. Um, I have not been able to do everything I have done out in Arizona without you guys. Though my tenacity and my drive for my son, my love, would have had me out there like trying, you guys, really hard. I could not be able to put thousands of flyers all across the country. I would not been able to keep my boots on the ground as long as I did. Would not been able to provide all this equipment out there, backhoes to you name it, out there in the desert for my investigators. Would not have been able to put billboards from the east side of Phoenix to the west, you guys. You name it. I can go on and on and on. But what I'm saying is, you guys, things like this, the act of love, that you guys have shown, it's impossible to think that everybody in this country, with everything, the climate of division we have, you guys, we're getting pent up against each other like it ain't crazy. I mean, I'm telling you, it's like it's crazy. I'm telling you guys, we're getting pent up in this country against each other. When I was in Arizona, out there in that desert, I'm telling you, you would not see any of that. You are like, you feel like you're in another country, you guys. How much love is out there between everybody, no matter who you are, where you come from, what your political ideologies are, etc. It didn't matter. But somehow we all pent up when it comes to everything else, right? When we're watching the news and here on social media, pin us up for a reason. Because you know what? I remember old saying when I was young, the poor stay poor, the rich stay rich. Oh yeah, it's always been a long standing that the rich play the poor and the people of color against each other, right? So they can stay rich, and I get that. That's what they do too as well. But the thing is, you guys, we haven't seen that out in the desert, and like I said, this grassroots movement is an example of what America could and really should be about. So excuse me, to lose my voice a little bit, you guys. Mary Ellen, thanks so much for being here. You have a question. Thanks so much for that question mark, so I can identify that. Is there a new chief in Buckeye? Yes, yes, it is. Yeah, yes, it is. His name is Chief Robert Sanders. He's been assistant chief to Chief Hall at the time. I've known Chief Sanders, assistant chief at the time, a long time. I knew him from the first day I met Chief Hall in that meeting. I was telling you guys about when they told me, being facetious in communication. For instance, I say, "How you know my son was driving that vehicle?" Just asking right questions, and the answer would be, because it's his vehicle. Of course, he was driving it. What police? That let me know their thought process when it comes to investigating. Because I mean, though you may think it's funny by saying that to this guy, to this dad who's desperately looking for his son, you think it's funny and hilarious to you. It wasn't hilarious and funny to me, because that showed me that you don't really really care about investigating. you know I hear FBI the other day, the head of the FBI in Phoenix praised Buckeye, right? Said they did a great job without evidence, right? And this is the sad part, you guys. And when I say they did a great job, if you see I mean, I hear reporters can tell you this as well. You can see the way my son's case has been handled And the if you match that up to my and when I say my, I'm talking about us, you guys, we're grassroots. And you match it up to my efforts, you understand why they didn't do a great job. Anything that was done by the Buckeye Police Department was done because we pushed them to do it. You guys, I mean, when I say we pushed. Because I'm telling you something, when on June or July the 19th, when they told that rancher, and he could tell you this, he told him, whatever you do, don't tell the media that this vehicle showed up, and don't tell the family, right? Why wouldn't you? And I'm out there searching for my son hard with hundreds of volunteers on the ground. Um, they waited over 24 hours to tell me, right? And when they did that, he threatened me the same day, Detective Biffin. If you don't get it out of here today, because I was about to watch, man, I need to get out of here. It's devastating to my mind to even look at this vehicle I've seen for the first time, not the way that Daniel wanted to show it to me. Um, and it was damaged heavily. And the only thing I could see in my brain, it shook me so hard, you guys, I couldn't even move. I was stiff, like a piece of brick or something. And I had to get out of there because I would have broke. I mean, broke right there in front of a grown man. And he stopped me. He said, "Hey, you don't get it out here today. We're gonna have a total away. You have to pay storage fees." I mean, that's the first answer he had to give me in a devastating moment. Had I done that, you guys, again, you guys wouldn't have heard of the Daniel Robinson story. It would have been closed. It would have been ended at that point. There would be no swabbing of the steering wheel. And I'm telling you guys, and this is the same. I'm telling the FBI agent, the one in charge down there. Um, again, same FBI saying this when they don't. Could you imagine, you guys, when you're a FBI agent, you're a police officer, and you have a father who's out there fighting for his child. He's the family, the lead head, been out here in the media everywhere, and you not one time interview that person, not one time, hear their side of the story, hear what's going on, hear their evidence and things like that, but you make a one-sided decision. I call that for to be a head of FBI, just hearsay, right? No matter what somebody say, because they law enforcement, you just don't take a word for it. I'm telling you guys again, just because it's law enforcement, you just not don't just take the word for it. You find out the facts. What I'm saying, you guys, if I would have done that for Daniel's vehicle, I would have got it out of there because I'll be honest with you, I was actually doing that. I told him, I say, "Sir, can you please?" I had to beg a grown man. "Can you please hold it for a few days? I'm not from Arizona. I don't know who my son's creditors are. I need to find that out." I'm in a devastating moment at the moment when I'm asking this. He agreed to hold it for 3 days. I even called up to get them to put a tarp on there because I was going to bring one up because I heard it's supposed to finally rain in Arizona. And but in blessing part, I got a meeting. But I'm saying, you guys, if I would have left like they really wanted me to, you guys would have heard of Daniel Robson's story. They would have been, I would have went back home, like they said, "Hey, ain't nothing to see here." They even put it on their social media. "We have no more leads to follow." They deleted that, but I got a copy of that. "No more leads to follow." They told my investigator they were investigating. It was over. It became an investigation to them when my investigator told me he was going to take that infotainment system out of there and send it to California to get some real answers. Again, they didn't like that. I'm telling you guys, everything we did, they did. They even went so far as got a accident reconstructionist for themselves. Even though I already had one, they got one for themselves to try to rebut what he found. Right, a guy who never seen Dan's vehicle, never touched it, never tasted, smell it. But the FBI down for that. For somebody who never seen a report, seen Dane's vehicle, never examined it, but made a full report on something they never seen before. That's like me making a full report about somebody's case down the street right now, and I don't even know nothing about it right now. So I'm saying, you guys, it's a bunch of crap that's going on, you guys. I'm saying. So what I point is I'm making, if I would not have fought the way I've been fighting and stuck in there, you guys would not have heard of Dan. We haven't gotten this far. So some people say, "What? How far did you get?" Everything we know about Daniel case came from my investigation. Not one thing came from law enforcement. I'm telling you, only one thing that came from law enforcement, they trying to prove their point that the vehicle being there for 30 days. That's all they really want so bad. They're telling me that from before they even so-called even when they pull everything out, they base everything on a hard head full of water. That's how they put it. And we already know about that hard head full of water. That's a bunch of stuff, and I've proven that wrong too, to be a plant. And but they based it on that they wanted it there so bad for 30 days for whatever reason. That's Buckeye Police. They wanted it there for 30 days so bad. They're desperate. That's how it is, you guys. Not They so desperate, you guys. This is the funny part. Think about this. Why are they refusing to put the rancher's account? Now, first thing law enforcement do is look for eyewitnesses, people that can verify who actually seen this, been there. Those are firsthand knowledge, right? Not hearsay like the FBI with the Buckeye Post Department. Not hearsay, firsthand account, right? Rancher said, I was here 2 days prior, here in the spot 2 days prior, looking for my cattle. The vehicle wasn't there. 2 days later, the vehicle there, that's what he called, right? But they want the public here, they only want the public here, a local rancher found the vehicle. That's it. Because it would counteract their theory, they're wanting of it to be there for 30 days. You guys, I want you guys to hear that clearly, and that's exactly how the story goes. That's what I'm saying, you guys. Just because you read something in the report, you hear law enforcement say this, is not the facts. You guys, you have to look at the facts. And so what I'm saying is this guy factually seen the vehicle wasn't there and told them that. But that's not fitting their narrative. It's not fitting what they want. Chief Hall himself, after that meeting, the same week, guys, I still had a search out there. Now think about this, guys, and I'm gonna say it again. He's not working for the Buckeye Police Report magically. When I was getting ready to do something else, I can't tell you guys about that. But the thing is, I'm saying, you guys, he magically retired, and also did sheriff zone at the time. He didn't finish his whole term. But what I'm saying, you guys, now, uh, Chief Hall at the time, you guys, when I was out there talking to him in that office with his people, right? And that's when I made them, asked them to do that finger. I call it fingerprinting, but they say they swabbed the steel wheel and shifter. They didn't do it on their own. They weren't doing anything for Daniel. I requested that, but I ain't gonna put that in the report. I requested that again. Everything we know about Daniel disappearance came from my investigation. Things I had to force law enforcement to do. I requested that. They did it to this date. They haven't processed it. They called me almost 2 years later. Hindsight, you got. They called me almost 2 years later, right at 2 years later, and asking me for a razor after Daniel's apartment being dismantled. Hey, Miss Robin, you got a razor? Daniel's razor. Detective Biffin called me. Hey, you got Daniel's razor so we can compare the swabbing that we got off the vehicle to his DNA. Like we walking around with Daniel's razor in our pockets or something. Or, I don't know what their thinkings are. Why you didn't do it then? Because you didn't care, right? Because now the heat on you, you want to pretend like you did something. But what I'm saying is, guys, go back. That vehicle, like I said, that vehicle was there, Chief Hall, that same week when I was out there talking to him in the office. He showed up that Saturday. I didn't cancel my search because the vehicle was found. That really heightened my search because now we're not searching just the well site area that he allegedly went missing from. We're also searching the area where the vehicle showed up, right? So went out there. It's the ironic part. I'm telling you guys, I found that this guy. Sad to say, I don't know where he came from, but I'm sure I put it in other words, maybe he could have been a plant, but fact is he had some ties with Buckeye. I'll just put it that way. But he was my then search coordinator. He called out and he called me one day and he said, we already had plans. We always planned out everything for the searches on Wednesdays. But he called me and said, hey, Mr. Robinson, I have an area out there in the desert that we can get more volunteers into. Okay, great, wonderful. How would I do? He said, "Oh, I got somebody out there already be waiting on you. When you get there, they'll show you where it's at." Right. So I get there, and sure enough, one of the guys that normally be out there working with us on Matrix New World, showed from Daniel's job, showed me where he wanted to have these volunteers located. Right. That's a lot larger than what we planned on that Wednesday. So okay, went there, and it was just like you said. My daughter and I made it to the spot, and it was wide open. We called it a quarry area, and got the volunteers down there, but he didn't show up. A little while later, I look over the horizon as the sun coming up. I see his vehicle. He have a vehicle he rides all the time, almost like a police cruiser. And there was another one riding behind him. I'm like, okay, I see his vehicle, but who's this other guy? They made it to where we were at, and sure enough, he got out the vehicle. The other person got the vehicle, and it was Chief Hall. You guys, Chief Hall, Larry, just magically showed up. Chief Larry Hall. I got videos of this, guys. I'll share that with you guys one day. Instead of him, I'm telling you guys, we felt offended. I'm telling you how we are thought of as a family. Um, Chief Hall literally almost stepped over us, me and my daughter. Now he just met me a few days ago in that meeting. And he said, "Hey, how you doing, Miss Robinson?" But kept walking over me like I didn't really matter, like he had this urgent thing he needed to do. He went out, he started yelling, I call it grandstanding. He was like, "Hey, everybody, y'all want to know where this vehicle's found?" And I'm looking like, me and my daughter look at each other like, "Okay, well, we don't even know where this vehicle's found." They never showed us. They had never had the courtesy to show us as a family where this vehicle was found in the desert. Though I was out there every week fighting for my son. All right. Okay. Okay. Yeah. They said, yeah. And people started running back to the car. They said, no, no, y'all don't have to run. It's right here over this hill. Now we're sitting in this quarry area and we look at this hill, but of course, I'm waiting on my guy. And the area is right over here. Ironically, we're right there where the vehicle is going to be found, right? Where the vehicle was found or whatever. Right over the hill. He said, come follow me, like he was Moses leading the children of Israel to the Red Sea or something, right? And we've gone over this hill. My daughter and I, we felt very disrespected because we have all these volunteers walking with us. They're walking ahead of us, and we kind of lagging behind like we just one of the spectators or something. We get into this area out there in this part of the desert over the hill where the vehicle was found, area where the vehicle was found, and he pointed down the ravine. Miss Robinson, the vehicle was found right there, and I looked down the ravine that he was pointing out, standing next to him. I looked down there, and I looked at that ravine and said, that does not look familiar to me. It don't look like that one picture that the Buckeye Police Department gave me and tell me to go on by my business, basically. Um, it didn't match that, the one that I gave to the media when I finally got them to hold Daniel's story. And it didn't look right. But he was going off about the cartels, and he had this big thing, this big speech he's making to the people, I guess, about the cartels are so bad out there, and they drop their drugs at night. They do this thing called dropping fly or something out of it, and they wheels barely touch the ground. They drop they drugs on Sun Valley Parkway and keep going back to Mexico. He had this big statement going on as from my perspective from a family was that he telling me the cartels did something to my son, right? And so while he was doing that, my daughter tapped me on the shoulder. She said, "Dad, this guy," pointing down the other direction, "wanted to speak to you. Went to go see who this person was. It was the rancher. Showed up too. Rancher said," he kind of yelled out loud, "I don't know why Chief Hall telling y'all that the vehicle was down there. It was found right here because I the one found it." He pointed down this other ravine. And while he was pointing at Chief Hall and said that, Chief Hall turned red in the face. He immediately stopped talking, turned red in the face, walked off, past everybody. Never seen him. He went off in the sunset. Never ever saw him to any of my searches ever again in life to this date. But to me, I got the impression that he was selling me a story. He wanted me to believe that vehicle was found there. He wanted me to make sure that the people that was there, the volunteers, believed that this vehicle was there. As we know, hindsight, you guys, from every evidence, hard physical evidence from my investigator, the vehicle was planted there, right? We are those an implantation of Daniel's vehicle at that point. There's so much evidence faced to that, you guys. But Buckeye Police Department really strongly, and I'm saying not just Buckeye Police Department, it had to be everybody else, because if you're taking up for the Buckeye Police Department, you have to be in on it too, right? So what I'm saying is, you guys, some of the issues I have is the facts on the ground, the facts that don't match the law. I have guys, and I'm gonna release this to the public eventually. I have 4 different reports from the Buckeye Police, different paragraphs in those reports. That's against the law. And we also know, you guys, that the Buckeye Police Department has a history of falsifying documents. Chief Hall himself was suspended for that in the past, but somehow they kept him on until he retired on his own. He got his retirement, I'm sure. Um, and so what I'm saying, you guys, that's what I have to deal with. But the difference is with me, again, you guys, I said at the beginning, I'm a fighter. I'm in a fighter. I'm gonna fight for what I believe, and I love my children. I will fight for my children, right? And I'm not gonna just let anybody just run over them. It's not gonna happen, right? So like I said, I didn't go anywhere. I didn't go nowhere. I stay here. I stay here, and I'm still here, still fighting. You guys still fighting. I love my son. I'm gonna continue to do so. I also love you guys when you guys see me say, "Hey, why Mr. Robinson running for Congress?" Because I seen the problem. I seen why I can't still to this day get cell phone pings to show we hear Buckeye relying on the app that the people who own the app say to Buckeye, don't use our apps, it's inaccurate. Don't use our apps because you cannot use it that way. And they did it anyway for you guys. Oh, this app, this Mile IQ app says it was the vehicle was in this ravine. It wasn't, you guys. I'm telling you something. The cell phone pings would give the answers that we need, you guys. And the first thing they told us as a family when we was asking for those obvious things that people ask for, like I said in my run so far too, is that we found Osama bin Laden. I had the Taliban fight. I remember bullets as a gunner, hearing the rounds pass my head. It only took one good shot, and I wouldn't be here talking today, right? And I remember just the whole fact that these guys was wanting to kill us, right? Like literally, right? So what I'm saying is, you out there, um, it's so much. I might just go ahead and move on from that. But you guys, I can keep going on about this. But the point is, you guys, I'm a fighter, and I'm gonna fight for my children. I'm gonna fight for everything I believe in. And like I said, I just really believe that we can do better. When I look at the telecommunicators, for instance, when I was in meetings with these telecommunication departments, they literally have their policies. They'll go around the circles on you, but them boys are good. They'll go around on the circles on you, right? While your data that you own is not your data that you own, but it's your data though. They tell you, oh, it's your data, but we don't have, then they'll come up with this thing about retention time. And we all know, you guys, when they want it, the FBI will do it. When they want something that you had on your stuff, you say, oh, I'm gonna delete this and it's gone forever. Nothing's gone forever. We already know that. But magically with these departments, it's magically gone. We have these retention times. We only we only hold these things for this certain amount of time, and that's it. Law enforcement can't get this much information, they get this much information without a warrant. And that's what happened in Daniel's case as well. You guys, um, that amounts to nothing, basically. No answers. While it amounts to longevity of a person being missing, right? And I'm here to stop that, you guys. And I'm telling you guys, and I really need everybody's support who actually listens to me. I feel like God put me in a place to be able to do this. And I just really need support. When I say I need support, I mean like I need real support. I need people to go out and say, "Hey, Mr. Robinson's running for Congress to do this, to get this thing done, to stop all this madness that we see." I mean, we care about a lot of other things that I get. There's a lot of things going on, the opioid crisis, to um, some celebrity dating a man who play football or something. I mean, I know things like that seem important, but we have missing Americans going on that's happening right now, and that's very important. My son is one of them. And what I'm saying is, you guys, we have politicians out here right now fighting over one man. And I mean, I'm not, I know some of you guys are supporting. I'm not dumping off anybody, and I'm not making this on about that. And I'm telling you, I'm not a person of division. I'm a person of bringing people together and inclusiveness. Because look at our searches out there. Again, I can say it again. I haven't seen that in the desert of Arizona, right? And so I know it's possible, and I know it's true. The problem is we hear so much and we get so much, and it makes us rile up and angry at each other for no reason. It's all a game, you guys. So what I'm saying is, it's an urgency that's there. I need support. Uh, I'm doing everything I can. I really, that's why I reached out to this grassroots movement, is because I know that you guys helped me before, and I know you guys can help me again. To actually make it to Congress. I really need to do that, you guys, because I know I can be the one to actually get these things done. I have issues in my own state that need to be taken care of. I'm born and raised in my state. Trust me, guys. I know those issues. We have an incumbent, and I'm not going to talk about that either too much. But what I'm saying is, I think a lot of politicians are worrying about their. I feel like this. I'm a term limit person. I really believe in term limits. I'm telling you the reason why. Because it gets to a point where you're in certain positions for such a length of time, you forget that you're representing the people, right? You represent your political, things you got going on, your whatever. I'm a this and I'm a that. You that's all you care about, and you forget about the things that matters to, like the bread and butter issues that matters to your constituents, right? Reason why I know, because I live, I'm a constituent. And I see it, so you get tired of being sick and tired, you want to do something about it. And it's ironically, I want to do something about it, right? and you see nobody the real representation that you should have, you just don't have it, right? You just don't have it. You have the federal government bringing these funds into your state, for instance, right? That can help with social programs for your state and down to your communities. Then you have one party that sit there and block it and tell you that person ain't doing it all for political gain, right? To tell this person ain't doing that for you because you see, look at your pocket, like, yeah, that's right. And not knowing all the time is them blocking these social programs and things that can help you succeed in life. Because like I said, you guys, it's the basic things as well that matters, right? Investment in our education. We shouldn't have this low minimum wage, etc. I can go on and on about that stuff. But what I'm talking about tonight is my son. Talking about all the missing Americans that's out here, you guys, and I have to continue on fighting, fighting, and this don't stop just in the desert of Arizona. It didn't stop in the desert of Arizona, Afghanistan when I was there. It continues on, you guys, and I have to keep going. So I really need your support. When I see this right here tonight, for instance, that's all it takes, you guys. I'm telling you. I'm telling you guys, I really appreciate everybody who's been supporting me along the way, and I really appreciate that. And I mean it from the bottom of my heart. If I had this big giant hug I can give everybody at one time, I'll do that too. But I say one, thank you so much, Dial Up, for that, for the super chat. Like I said, now, and you too also. Thank you, Anna, as well, for the super chat. It matters. What I'm saying is, it helps my morale. I think one thing we had when we was in the military is keeping our morale up. I remember when we lost our first soldier, you guys. Um, when I've been a gunner, 88 Mike is what I was at the time, a truck driver, but like I said, I was with the combat engineer unit, never driven a truck for the military. Well, I take that back. I driven a truck in Afghanistan for probably like a few days or something, but never after that. But what I learned is, it hurts when you lose someone. I remember his name was Butts Bomb, 18-year-old kid, very smart. I remember we was first got to Afghanistan. You expect a lot as a soldier. You've been trained very well to do your job, but we through convoys, things we had to do, go try to build roads for these kids, build schools, whatever the case may be, for the Afghani children and stuff, and people for infrastructure. And I remember we would go to these sites without incidents, without nothing happening. Right? It got so I think for like the first 2 weeks, it was like easy street or something, right? Nothing happening. See the little people with their little kettle and little kids begging for candy. We throw candy to them, things. Really nice. And there's one particular day, we came back, Bus Bond, he was talking on the radio. I got my headset, I'm a gunner, we all communicating. And I remember they said, "Man, he's talking a whole lot today. He just talking, just going on and on." But this kid is very smart. He knows army stuff, and he just going off, going off. We had a great time, and we made it back to our fob. And I remember, as a gunner, we have to dismount our weapons. I have a 50 cal, so we had to take some time to get that down and do some stuff. And so, bringing that back to the arms room, I heard a pop. Then thinking that I thought it was one of the Afghanis or the Taliban or somebody trying to shoot at the fob, right? And then I seen the medic. Well, I seen one of the soldiers run up to the medic tent, medic station, and aid station, and then the medic was running back to the tent. And they just ripped the tent open. Make a long story short, it was negligence discharge. The battle buds, we come back, we clean our weapons. They forgot to take a round out. Bus bomb was shot through his side. We thought he would be fine, and it was a devastating moment. He thought he'd be fine. He gave us a thumbs up. He's gonna be right, okay, but he did not make it. Where I was at in Afghanistan, we was over almost near an hour away with a Black Hawk coming to get us. Something go wrong with us, it take them almost an hour to come help us, right? So at the time, we was near the Pakistan border, and he made it as far as to Bargum Air Force Base, and he didn't make it, and that was devastating for us. Our whole morale was low. And one thing about the military, when that happens, you cannot talk to family, you cannot get on the internet, you can't do anything. They call it a blackout. They do all of that until they tell the family about it first, and then we can talk to our families. Right? They keep us communication down. Period. And one during that time was the hardest part for us because we had to go back to training. Training meaning that You cannot deal with your emotions at the time. You got to keep yourself going. After we had a memorial, we had to go right back to work. It wasn't time to grieve and things like that. That should be natural. But what I'm saying, I'm telling you all this for one reason, is that sometimes you have to put things aside, your emotions aside. You have to focus. Bad things going to happen, but you got to fight. You just can't give up and can't just stop, right? And I'm not willing to stop, you guys. I'm just not willing to do that. But I need support, because without the support of each other, we're not made it. I know I wouldn't have made it. We're losing an 18-year-old kid. That was the first. That was just He was just the first, and there was many more after that. But I'm saying is, you know, we just can't stop. I'll just put it that way. And I'm not willing to stop, you guys. I really need to do this, but I need your support. Like what Anna doing here. You guys go to my website, davidrobinsonforcongress.com. For those who don't know, davidrobinsonforcongress.com. And, help me, guys. Help me donate $5, $10, whatever you can afford, you guys. I really need the funding. I really need the help if I'm going to do anything. I would not go far at all without help. And I really need that. So, you guys, please, it's for a good cause. You guys can look me up. You guys seen what I done for over 2 years and continue to do. I just need to keep going. And the only way I can keep going is you guys can be the grassroots that we are. Uh, Encourage your friends, your families, everybody to help. I really need it, no matter what state. I know I'm in South Carolina, but this is a national issue. It's not a South Carolina issue. I would have never known it was going to hit my family. I was sitting when I got that phone call from my daughter. I was literally sitting in this home where I'm in right now, sitting outside in on my comfortable area. My children know where that's. Daniel know where that's at. I sit in my comfortable area watching television, and I was literally relaxing when I got that call. My daughter's frantic on the phone that some dude come to her house looking for Daniel, asking if he was there. You know, that just changed our life. That changed my family life. I would have never known about missing person cases. It didn't happen to us. At the time we didn't know anything. But as soon as it happened to us, I know a whole lot now. I know a whole lot about missing person cases. I know a lot about why Americans are still missing. I learned a lot of what the complacency of some law enforcement agents and others that really are trying to do the work just don't have the funding. We got to fix all of that, you guys, because it got to stop somewhere. It can't just continue on. We can't just be watching. We got to think about human trafficking. We got to think about people taking organs and things that we find in some of these cases. All that is related to each other, you guys, and so we got to find out why. Get some research done, some real research done, and do something about it. Right. So again, thank you for those who are coming in tonight. Let me see here. T. Michelle, thanks so much for being here. Yes, definitely keep the faith, and I will bring Daniel home. Like I said, you guys, I will not stop. Good evening, everyone, and also not just Dan. We're gonna bring all the other Americans home too, you guys. We're gonna do this. Also, choose wisely. Thanks so much. Greetings from Canada. Thanks so much for joining in. I truly appreciate that. And all those, yeah. And you're not the only one. So thanks so much, Canada. Choose wisely, because I have people from the Netherlands, some from South Africa. I even had a person from Russia. So everybody who actually join in from no matter where you're at in the world, period. I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate your support. And like I said, just the support itself helps with morale. And that's what I was talking about. My war experience, one of the war experience. You guys, it helps with morale. Morale is one of the things that you need to keep going. When I hear nice things from you guys, I'm praying for you. Good luck, Ms. Rob. We're gonna find Daniel. All that matters, you guys. The super chats, the support, everything matters, you guys. Did Buckeye not have you sign a paper that you took the truck as demanded? It would be contaminated and forensics impossible. Yeah, they had me sign what it was. The context of that. The vehicle was already given to me when he threatened me and tell me to get it out of there or it's gonna be told away. That was a release of a verbal release to me, right? I was trying to find a place to take the vehicle at the time. Nevertheless, I had to call back and ask them give me three. I get ask them 3 days. I called them back to get a tarp put on it. But in the meantime, I ended up getting that meeting on the 22nd of July. The vehicle was found on the 19th. On the 20th, they told me about the vehicle, and on 22nd, I had the meeting. And in that meeting, that's when I asked them to do the forensic stuff. But after that, when they finished doing this, when I say do the forensics, you guys, I want to make sure I'm making very clear on that, because Buckeye Police Department and law enforcement too, probably even the FBI, they use word games. And word games, I could say in a broad way, we did forensics. But what is the detail of that forensics? Oh, we swapped the steel wheel and the shifter and the door handle. Really? You know that's airbags, right? You know we found some red transfer paint on there, right? We know the airbags on the past side. I mean, we the family don't even recognize his clothing, though the daughter see him almost every day. Don't recognize his clothing. You sure that's Daniel's clothing? It's answers like that they don't not willing to find out. But to get back to what you were saying, um, yes, they had me to sign something, and it's funny because my investigator, when I hired Mr. McGrath, I sent him up there to get it, because at that point, I hear what they said in that meeting. It was disgusting. The way they was being facetious to me. Uh, all of them, a whole bunch of men with guns on their side. Um, the whole point is, you guys, they released that vehicle. They released them. He even gave me the forensics. Right? Things. I mean, when I say forensics, the items from Daniel marked for safekeeping. This was the FBI okay with, you guys. In a meeting, they did no forensics on the stuff. They put in evidence bad, and it's marked. I still got them. Still got their check mark, all that on it. Marked for safekeeping. Really? That's investigating. Safekeeping, you guys, for those who don't know, meaning that we got all the stuff off the evidence without doing any forensics, without putting. That's why you see no yellow tape on their pictures. They didn't do anything at the scene. We stuffed all the stuff in the evidence bag, a paper bag. This I don't want to call it evidence bag. We call it a paper bag. We step in the paper bag. Put a stamp on it, and they have three check box on it. One say evidence, one say something else, and the other one say for safekeeping. They had all of them marked for safekeeping. Safekeeping mean that we collect the items that we found at this place, this scene, and we waiting on the family to come, this person or the family to come pick it up. Meaning that they believe that Daniel, with all this brain injury they claim and they believe he had, was going to come out of the desert with butt naked with no clothes in his body, and come claim his stuff. Or that's why he stopped me and put it in my trunk, because he thought I was going to leave. And so what I'm saying is, it was all marked for safekeeping. It never was evidence. But then it's like I keep going on. But to answer your question again, that vehicle was there for them to do that fingerprinting I requested. So when you guys hear them say, "Oh, they said they did forensics and whatever," they hadn't did no forensics. They didn't even to this day test those swabbings that they claim they did on the shifter, the door handler, and the steel wheel again. And so when they finished doing that, they said they're releasing the vehicle to me, right? So when they did that, they told me, "Oh, hey, we're releasing the vehicle to you. We finished with this swabbing, whatever they did, get a fingerprinting, right?" They called me, told me this. So I sent my investigator up there to pick the vehicle up, because he said he have a facility to take it to, because he's gonna do his own investigation on it, right? When he got there, the first thing they did, he asked for the black box data, because they didn't have nothing. But Buckeye didn't even read the data. They pulled the data, but they didn't even read the data. So everything y'all know about the black box data came from my investigation. The 11 additional miles that was on there, the speed, this, that, blah, blah, all that stuff. Then he turned around after he did all that. He gave them a copy of his report, what he found about this black box data. But at the same time, like I said, that's hindsight. But when he was there that day to pick the vehicle up, they gave him the black box data information, right? What they pulled, and then while he was there waiting on his tow truck to come pull it out of there, um, the tow truck was on the way. They come to pull it out of there because they had to tow it a certain way, because my investigator, it was evidence, right? He could try to find out what happened. So he had to tow it a certain way. He had to have a certain type of towing company come get that vehicle from that police department. But while he was out there waiting on this vehicle, he was talking to he's the law officer himself. They having a discussion. They say, "Hey, Mr. McGrath, what you gonna do with this vehicle?" Basically, right? He said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna have the dashboard pull out, and I'm gonna take the infotainment system out. We're gonna find out what happened. I guess take the system out and send it to California. They have it analyzed and find information about where this vehicle was at. That type of stuff from the infotainment system. Because the infotainment systems have a lot of information, locations and things like that. When they heard that, it blew their mind. I guess, in my opinion, it could have been blowing something else. So they went freaking out about it and didn't want to release it. And I'm sure the city attorney told them they can't hold it because it's my evidence, my vehicle now, because they turned it over to me verbally, gave it to me. They was holding it for me and my request to do those fingerprinting. So it's my vehicle, right? At that point. So they couldn't hold it legally unless I say, well, Buck, I can keep it. But I would not do that. I had hired me a private investigator. So they literally called me and say, well, we ain't gonna let it out of our compound unless he signed for it. Okay, they called me. I was in my hotel and I had to drive 40 miles away to Buckeye, Arizona from Phoenix and go sign a piece of paper to say, yeah, I'm taking it in my possession. Right? They drew it up quick. And that's exactly how the vehicle was pulled. When I signed it and Miss McGrath pulled it on out of there, had it taken out of there. And that's what happened with that. And so the contamination part was to me is the fact that when you say contaminate, I say chain of custody. It was done in the proper way, based on the way it was moved out of there. I have never to this date touched that vehicle. I haven't even touched that vehicle that date when the vehicle that on the 20th when Detective Biffin tried to, for some reason, wanted me to touch that vehicle badly. He said, "Hey, go open the door and pull that airbag." He was giving me directions what to do, and I wouldn't do it. I was stunned. I wasn't trying to be smart. I just was stunned because I was devastated what I saw in that vehicle. But to this day, I have never. The closest I ever been to that vehicle was with Mister with Detective Biffin. The second time I seen that vehicle was when Miss McGrath had it in our facility that I can't tell you guys about, but it was in a facility, and I was a bit distance away. When I say a bit distance, I mean a huge distance. They have this thing where they put the vehicle in this little square. They have all these cameras, and they mark who comes through that vehicle and not things like that. Right? It's a very secure place and I would not be nowhere near it. And the reason why is because what you said, the contamination of anything. Because I'm Daniel's father, right? I'm his father, and it's not proper for me to be near his vehicle. I know at least that much. I'm not a detective at the time, but I know at least that's common sense, right? So that's where it stands to this day, and that's why I only seen that vehicle twice. But yes, definitely could have been contaminated many times, and if not just my investigators by the Buckeye Police Department. Mary Ellen has he was down right crew. I don't know what that means, but anyway, thank you so much for being here. Choose wisely. Thank you again, Bree. Thank you so much again. Let's see who else I got here. Melissa, thank you for being here. Oh, let me go back real quick. You had something there. I have so much respect. Okay, thank you. Yes, respect for you, David. Thank you. I hope Daniel's found. I really appreciate that, Bree. Thank you so much. Um, Melissa, thanks so much. I don't believe it's a cartel thing. I don't either. I have lived here for 17 years and never heard anything like that. I have, and even when Chief Hall said that, I'll be honest with you guys, out in that desert for 49 weeks, guys. 49 weeks. I have not one time ran to anybody even to me would seem like a cartel. Well, I got shot at before, and it wasn't because it was a cartel member. It was because somebody dumb enough don't know how to orientate their rifle, and they were trying to shoot quail. A lot of people don't know, but quail is out there in Arizona, and it was out there trying to shoot quail, and I had to use my military teachings to not get shot, and I had to pull another person that was with me down because he wasn't trained and he don't know what to do to drop. Make a long story, but yes, but other than that, no, I have never seen anything that even similar to any type thing like that. I'm not saying it's not out there because I do know that's a corridor for human trafficking, but I haven't seen things like that myself. Mary thinks DOJ needs to step in. DOJ, I had lunch with the DOJ. Mary Allen, I've done a lot. I'll just say it like this: I've done a lot. A lot of people just don't know. You guys don't know half of the things I've done behind the scenes to fight for my son. I'm still continuing to do. Everything can't be public, right? But that's a lot I have done and still not getting justice. And that's why sometimes what I learned when I was a kid, I come from a single parent home, but what I learned is that sometimes you have to go do it yourself. My bishop used to always say, sometimes when you're doing it, you're gonna be by yourself. You're gonna be by yourself when you're doing it. Sometimes, even with all these people, you're still gonna be feeling alone. I feel alone all the time, and you have to encourage yourself to keep going. That's what my bishop used to say. He passed away a long time ago, but says sometimes you have to encourage yourself, and that's why you have to keep going. Sir, would you reach out to do the run and Equisearch Midwest? I don't know about Equisearch Midwest, but I know Equisearch period. Texas Equisearch. I think to be more specific, I think his name was Mr. Raider, something out of other. I reached out to them. I don't know about Duty Run. I heard of the name before. I can't remember. I reached out. I say it like this. I reached out to so many nonprofits, and I'm gonna be honest with you. It may sound funny, but it's the truth. Only one now. I'm have one finger up, you guys. Out of all the many nonprofits, I was searching all of them. Only one showed up to my search. Well, I didn't say showed up, but they did something for my search, and that was Black and Missing Foundation with Natalie and Derica. They donated to my search, and they also sent a. I was, you guys probably remember, I was begging for drones out there. I needed specialized drones to do certain kind of work, but I was begging for drones and volunteers bringing their drones, and they sent a drone company out there to do some work for me at one time, and that was Black and Missing Foundation. But EchoSearch told me that the Texas EchoSearch told me, well, I don't know what this means, you guys, but this is what they told me. Daniel's case do not fit their profile, whatever that means. But I can tell you what they did was um, gave me a number of information to another. They referred me to somebody. To make a long story short, who had drones, these good kind of drones that I was been asking for. And I did have this person set to come to my search. This I'm not gonna put their name out. They even went so far as told me I had to. They would like to have law enforcement's blessings, basically, right? So I set that up as well with the Buckeye Police Department. And then when the morning that they showed up, he called me and said they weren't coming because I'm laughing, guys, because it sounds kind of weird to me, but somebody didn't show up for work or something out of other. And so that's the extent of that. Now I can back up to and say people like the Texas Rangers been out to my searches multiple times. So I can't say organizations like that have been out to my searches, and they very wonderful. They have different branches and things like that, but they came out. I also had my fellow military folks from Andrews Air Force Base came out to the searches. Matter of fact, a group of them that came out at a time when we found human remains. Very good troops that came out to be on the ground with me. So it was a lot of people. But yeah, but as in when it comes to the nonprofits and things like that, that's also what prompted me to start my own nonprofit as well, because I've seen the things that I had to go through to make things happen. I vowed to myself that I started Daniel Robinson Foundation first to have my son's name in his honor. At the same time, to the Daniel Robinson Foundation is there to help families in situations like my family was, right? So I'm still working on that, guys. I told you guys that, but people don't know about Daniel Robinson Foundation. I put it on hold, pause for a moment because of reasons, but we're picking that back up. But that's what the Daniel Robinson Foundation is about. Also, you guys, like I said, we definitely, all of us, it's gonna take us as people to actually get things done. So I really need you guys to continue to help. I'm gonna get off, you guys. It's getting late. I'm gonna realize how late it is. I have, as you guys can imagine, you think I was busy with my son, fighter fan. I'm busy for running for Congress. You guys, I'm really pushing it, guys. And again, I'm gonna stress over and over again. Please, you guys, DavidRobinsonForCongress.com. Please support me. Please, you guys. I really need donations. I really, really need it, you guys. Keep up the great work, David. We will find Daniel. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. And I know I have faith. Faith is the action word. It's faith. People say, "Well, if you have faith, why didn't you find your son yet?" Faith is the action word. You have to go out and do it. I did it. I've been out there for over 2 years fighting for Daniel. That's faith. That's action with your faith. And I know I'm gonna find my son. But I'm telling you guys, God have a reason for everything. And the reason why I'm saying this, and it may sound kind of funny, God didn't cause my son to go missing. He ain't gonna make my son stay missing. What I'm saying is, you got to look at life itself. If I would have found Daniel again, I'm gonna stress it. If I would have found Daniel the way I was gonna find him, when I made it to Arizona, drive my car cross country, 2,000 miles, getting to Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, if I would have found him that day as I had in my brain, I wouldn't be right here talking about missing person cases. I won't be talking about running for Congress. I'm sure unless it's some other reason I decide to do it when I get tired of looking at the news and seeing what's happening in my state and fussing at the TV and I see on news or something. Um, but sometimes some things will make you act, make you actually get up out of your seat and do something about it. And and that's what did it. It's two parts. I'm doing things for missing person cases, but also for my state. And what I'm saying is, if I would have not Dane was been found a long time ago. A lot of things wouldn't happen. That's very crucial, and that should happen. I would never have the information. I know how some of these telecommunications. I'm pressing on that because for a reason, you guys, the telecommunicators have those lobbyists and all that stuff they got going on for the states. I would never known. I wouldn't have been educated into those kind of things. I would have never known the stuff. A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't know some of these things that I know behind the scenes. And so it's gonna take somebody there to do something about it and correct those things. That's the reason why a lot of people are still missing right now. That's the reason why a lot of families are crying right now because they can't have access to things. That's why law enforcement getting dumped on a lot because they don't even have access to certain things. It's crazy. So again, you guys, that's one of the things. But thank you so much, Tanya, as well. Melissa, thank you again. Um, Thank you so much. And I know you would. I really believe that too. And good night to you as well. Good night to everybody. Thank you so much again, you guys, for joining in. Please do not forget to go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com for the mail-in protest. You guys, I really need you guys to continue to do. And also, you guys can download the flyers and print them out and get them into your community. I really need that. If you need me to send them to you, I would send them to you as well. Just reach me at David Robinson. I'm sorry. Uh, I'm missing everything up. Please help find Daniel at yahoo.com. Please help find Daniel at yahoo.com. And you can request those flyers. Again, you guys, don't forget to mail in protests. Also, you guys, don't forget I'm running for Congress and I really need your support. It's time for change. We need to do something. And I really, really, truly need your donations. I know sometimes people say, "Oh, people always ask for money." Yes, you cannot run a campaign without it, and I really need it, you guys. I need to make it to Congress. I really need to be in the fight, and I want to win. And you guys, and that's the only way I can do this. What I need to do, not just for on the national standpoint, but for my state as well. But the national standpoint, we do need to bring our American families home. We need to help our American families that's hurting about their loved ones that they can't find. Nobody should have to go through that and without have these restrictions that a lot of these families don't even know. I'm just fortunate. My son is fortunate to have a dad who wasn't going to back off of law enforcement and say, "Oh, you guys are doing such a great job. I'm just going to sit back here in South Carolina and call you every day and say, hey, have y'all been looking for my son?" And again, I'm saying just like I feel it. They'll be right there on their phone with me. Say, "Yeah, Mr. Robinson, I'm out here right now. And matter of fact, we out here right now and we can't find nothing." That's the way I see it in my brain, you guys. If I can't see it for myself and I'm out there fighting out there, like I said, you guys, I never had no beef with or anything with law enforcement. My dream and vision was I was talking to law enforcement, getting all the information I can as I'm driving 2,000 miles, guys. Where do you think Buckeye get all this information from? I gave it to them. Um, I added them to they added to my tip line that I paid for. I thought realizing I was working for Buckeye, giving them money. And also, I was add them to my website. To this date, you go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. You guys say put in information, share information page part of it. You do that, you'll give it going directly. That's why you'll see the disclaimer I have there. Be careful what you send through this right here because it's going straight to the Buckeye Police Department. So I'm aiding law enforcement, and that's what I saw when I first got there. I was thought not literally hand but visually hand in hand with law enforcement looking for my son. And that didn't happen. I realized they was gaming me. And I don't like game. I don't like nobody trying to handle me. And it ain't gonna happen, especially when it comes to my children. And so I saw it and I caught it. I caught the game for what it really was. And I'm still fighting it. I'm still fighting it. All the way to the FBI, to everybody. Fighting it. And I'm not gonna be quiet until somebody quiet me. so, but anyway, the thing is, I'm gonna keep going, you guys, and I need your help. I have to keep fighting for all missing loved ones. I had to keep fighting for well, I'm saying in future, the constituents in my state. I am a constituent, and to fight for what's right and what's fair, and saying just fight for inclusiveness and get rid of the division that we see. And I'm smiling, you guys, because I'm just telling you, in my mind, I can remember the desert. I remember how we dealt with each other in the desert, everybody. And so what I'm saying is, um, we can do this, you guys. We can change the narrative. Dismiss a lot of this rhetoric we hear. Could show people that, hey, look, this country is going to be greater than what people trying to pin us out not to be. Oh, this country is we going to hell or something. Things are terrible. I mean, I used to see people complain. They'll tell people you're doing so badly in life while they riding down the street in a Mercedes. They say, man, I'm doing terrible in life. I can barely pay my bills, and they just bought a brand new Mercedes, right? Kind of must be doing mighty good, something going on. But they'll have you believe some things in life, man, to destroy you, and to have you just say, hey, look, I'm just gonna be. It's like a tribal thing. I'm just gonna be mad because I think I should be mad, about something. But no, we need to come together, you guys. We need to be coming together, and just come together and and stop the divisions, and just really just focus on Americans, man. We have, like I said again, I'm gonna keep preaching about it. We have over 650,000 Americans go missing every year. 2,300, 3,500 a day. 2,000 of them are children. Right here in South Carolina, we have over 270 people missing already, and the year's only began. That number is going to grow. And somebody got to say something and do something about it, and I'm here to do that. Again, you guys, thanks so much. And I saw something to say it on here, and I'm really looking at it, and I wonder. Hello, I'm new here. My name's RJ. That's ironic because I know RJ as well. But thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate that. Again, love you all. I'm not ashamed to say that because I really do. Anybody who's here to support a hurting family, and taking your time out to show this kind of love that you guys have been doing over the years, support all the support that you guys do. Yes, I love you, and I have no problem saying that. It's the truth. And I'll say thank you so much, you guys, for everything. Take care of yourself. Again, I'm saying it again redundantly. If you're mad at somebody in your family, be mad at them, but tell them that you love them. Say, hey, look, I'm not gonna talk to you for a little bit, but I want you to know I love you now. I love you. That's the reason I'm not gonna talk to you right now, because I might say something I might not mean. I just need a break, but know that I love you, because you're gonna come. It could come a time. Now, I don't say it's going to come time. I hope not, where you end up like we are in my family, when I have to look at old videos, listen to old voice messages. I mean, you name it, you guys, just to try to hear your loved one's voice, and it's nothing takes the place of the 2-hour conversation I have with Daniel. Nothing take the place of saying, "I love you, son," or hearing the moments where I feel like I'm aggravated. Man, you aggravating me right now. You even miss those moments. So don't take those things for granted, you guys. Always just hold your loved ones close. Take care of yourself. Be blessed. And talk to you guys on the other side again. Lastly, again, I'm keep preaching. I'm running for Congress. I'm running for Congress, people. I'm running for Congress. I need your help. I need your support. I need donations. I'll just come straight out. I need donations, you guys, to be competitive and win. And so please, you guys, DavidRobinsonForCongress.com. Please, please donate. Thanks so much. God bless you guys. I'll talk to you later. Good night.